top mistakes that people make when buying a home in Colorado Springs.
We see buyers make these same mistakes over and over again, and sadly, when we speak to them, they don't even realize that they made these mistakes. So if you're thinking about buying a home in the Colorado Springs area, be sure to watch this whole video so that you can avoid being a statistic like so many other people out there.
If you're new to our channel, I'm Crystal, this is Sean, and we're your top real estate agents here in Colorado Springs.
Hi! So, the first step when you're looking at purchasing a home, and there's two things that kind of go hand in hand together, but the first one that we wanted to chat about is the pre-approval process, which Crystal is dealing with today with a current client. But one of the first steps that you need to take into consideration is the actual pre-approval process, which if you do not know where to start with that, contact us. We can get you in touch with a trustworthy person to help you with that process because we are not the go-tos for that. But the key thing is that I've helped so many people, and a lot of the times they'll come up to me in the gym. They've known me for forever. Hey, Sean, I'm ready to buy a house. It's $800,000. It's in Wolf Ranch. Let's go. First question, have you been pre-approved? And the answer is no. So without the pre-approval, you don't know what your payment looks like. You probably don't know what the HOA looks like or the property taxes or anything that goes into it. So to skip this very first step is a huge no-no.
Well, and I think too, part of getting pre-approved is to understand your buying power, right? To where how much can you actually get qualified for, which is going to be different than what you want to pay for a mortgage. And those numbers, I mean, there's a million different calculators out there, you guys, that you can literally go plug in stuff. 9 times out of 10, they're preset to a certain interest rate. They're preset to a certain credit, and that probably is not yours. And it's also, it defaults to 20% down, which is not a lot of people because you don't have to have 20% down. But that is why it's so important to get pre-approved, to talk to a lender, and we can help you navigate that to kind of figure out what that really looks like. And a lot of times you're going to be qualified for way more than what your monthly payment is that you want to spend. And so that is one of the biggest things. And we've heard about it a lot, and we don't really like to show buyers without knowing kind of their pre-approval amount or without their buying power, because all it does is going to upset you. If we find a house that's $800,000, we'll just take Sean's example of Wolf Ranch, and it's $800,000, and then we go show you, you fall in love, everything about it's perfect. You talk to the lender and they're like, sorry, you're only pre-qualified for $600,000. Now you're upset. Now you're defeated because you're like, well, that's the home that I want. And so it's a way different feeling. Talk to the lender, figure out your buying power. Then we help you kind of hone in on what that looks like and what type of a house. And then we go look at that and get you it.
Well, and you touched on two things that I want to dive into deeper about. One, trusting your agents, right? Your agents probably have a referral partner for a lender. And if they don't, then don't use them because they must be like day one. But having agents that you can know and trust to help you with this process is extremely important. And then having a lender that's not going to manipulate the numbers to make it look like you're getting a way better deal than you actually might be is another huge thing. Thankfully, 9 times out of 10, when we work with a buyer, they work with a lender that we know or one of our preferred lenders. But do you remember the Castle House in Fountain?
Oh, yeah.
Called Castle House? Unfortunately, this buyer was dead set on using this lender that it was Crystal's client, but that she had never heard of. And tell them exactly what happened.
Well, I mean,
you know more about it.
Yeah, it was just a really horrible experience because unfortunately that lender did not give him the best interest rate, did not give him the best situation. And, and then when we compared apples to apples, it was very, very clear that there was a very big difference. And when we talk about big difference, you guys, it's like hundreds of dollars on your payment. And so I don't really want to go into like a ton of the details, but the big point of it is like, even if you're going with a different lender, let us know and we can apples to apples to that with one of our partner lenders. And if it actually is a better deal, great, do that. But the biggest thing I think to take away from it is your pre-approval is one of the most important pieces in your home buying process.
Yeah, and when you skip the aspect of working with an agent, there's not really an option, you guys. Just work with an agent, work with us.
There is an option. You have the option.
You don't want to do it that way because then you're going to be another statistic. Yeah, you're going to be a statistic of a home buyer that thought they were going to get a great deal. And you probably think to this day that you got a great deal until you talk to an expert and they say, actually, you skipped steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7, and you got screwed. So could you? Sure. Should you? No. Call me, call Crystal. We'll help you out. But there are so many different things that we can help you with when it comes to that, which I think another big one when I find out that buyers work by themselves is home inspection. Skipping the home inspection is another huge no-no, guys. There are so many, even with new builds. We just shot a video on new builds. We probably talked about it. We probably talked about it a few times with new build videos. But even new build homes need a home inspection.
Yep. And the good thing is if you hire us, we pay for your home inspection. So win-win, you guys, win-win. We don't see it too much right now because of where the market's at, but if we go back a few years during COVID, we were seeing, on our listings, we were seeing offers come in that they would waive the inspection, which is crazy. That's a huge mistake, you guys. And an inspection is there for you to be able to kind of get the ins and outs of the house and to really see, because when we go and look at it, you're probably not paying attention to the structural. You're probably not paying attention. You're not sticking, something in the electrical to see if it works on every single plug. An inspection does that. They get up on the roof. We don't get up on the roof. They check the sewer line. They just look at all of this stuff that not us, but you as a buyer are really excited that the layout is perfect or the aesthetics of it is amazing. And so getting a home inspection is so important. Benefits of working with Sean and I is that we do pay for your basic inspection no matter what. And so why not do it, right?
And then when it comes to the new build side, which is where a lot of people get confused, you don't need an inspection on a new build. Earlier this year, we have seen an entire sewer that needed to be completely redone. We've seen insulation, not in drywalls. Those are just some of the few things that you probably want to work for you when you go into your brand new house. We're under contract with some of our buyers, and they're buying a house that was a custom built. And the sellers when they bought it, they did not get an inspection. We are helping the buyers on this. We got an inspection, as you guys know. And there's things that are on the roof that as a very, very new custom built home should have been fixed or called out when it was built, and it's not. And it's because our clients hired us, they now are getting all of that taken care of. But it's just crazy stuff like that happens, especially in new builds and it happens. And then when it comes to that, then you get to the point of negotiations, right? So if you go in and you don't have representation and you don't really know where to go from there, these probably become things of the honey to-do list, right? When we move in, we can do X, Y, and Z if you're walking through it by yourself, or even if you have an agent and you're just making mental note of certain things. But why would you do that when it is negotiating power? That is a part of the process, a part of the home buying process. When you know that whatever doesn't work, say it's a big ticket item, say the furnace is about to go out or something like that. These are things that we help you with in terms of negotiating either price off the home, or for a furnace to be replaced, or for a sewer line to be replaced, or for the drywall to be completely ripped down, insulation to be installed, drywall to be put back up, and then proof that all of those things were actually done. These are some of the more big ticket items that we're talking about right now, but even things like a broken window, whatever, I'll just replace the window when I move in. No, why would you do that? Health and safety is important, and why would you, no, we're not skipping that for you. We're gonna make sure that you have a window installed, and we're gonna fight for that. So these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind, again, so you don't become a statistic of someone who made a bad decision because you weren't prepared because you didn't know Crystal and myself.
And you guys, this video is all about mistakes that you can make, right, when buying a home in Colorado Springs. Another one that I think is sometimes buyers get really excited about a home and they kind of ignore the location of where it's at.
Yes. We see this happen a ton because we do these videos for you guys who are usually out of state looking at moving to the Colorado Springs area. And you'll send us the Zillow link, right? Oh, this house is perfectly amazing. It's everything that I ever wanted, blah, blah, blah. But then you realize that it's 45 minutes away from your work when you're used to a 10-minute commute.
I was going to say another big one that we get, well, first off, because we're very high military, as you guys know, because this probably isn't your first video. And if it is your first video, then go back and listen to all their other ones. But we're high military, right? And so people don't really quite realize how close or how far the location is from the military base. That location is super important, but then also the school district, because a lot of people want a particular area and then they see something and they don't realize, oh wait, that's not in the right district. So those are probably like our two, I think, like for two types of buyers that we have that kind of have that misunderstanding or don't quite understand it until we physically go drive it, or we map it for them during times that we know that are kind of like a rush hour time, stuff like that. Then it gives you guys a different perspective of what that drive time actually looks like.
Yeah, and especially if you're watching this from out of town, that is so important. We obviously live here. We've lived here. I've lived here forever. She was in Denver for a long time, and now she's been in Colorado Springs for a long time. But we know the areas. So if you're curious about what does the drive from whatever, it doesn't matter, Mark Shuffle and Constitution to Fort Carson look like, or how is I-25 traffic? Is Fillmore getting backed up? Like, when is the construction on Academy going to be finished? All these questions that you have that you can't come here and physically see. Yeah, Academy's been in the works for as long as I can remember, literally since forever. But it's gotten better, sort of, over time. But yeah, these are the things that we can help you with. We're here on ground. We can video chat you guys. We can drive you through the city. We can show you what it looks like, because Google Maps is not always as reliable as you would want it to be. And when you know the back roads and different ways to navigate the Colorado Springs area, it makes it a whole lot easier living here, because if there's a traffic jam, that's one thing that I will say, is that if there is a traffic jam or construction or something going on, there is a detour. I promise you, and it will only add 2 minutes to your regular drive versus sitting in the construction or whatever it is for an additional 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You just have to know your way around the city a little bit.
For sure. Another mistake that we see all too often is kind of focusing on the sale price of the home versus your monthly payment. We kind of touched with this when we were talking about, getting pre-approved and making sure that you have either, the right team to help you with it. But you're looking at like, okay, this home is for sale and it's $500,000, right? If we get so fixated on that actual price versus what that monthly payment will do, it kind of skews you into not understanding like the full picture and really what's the best option. One of my best examples is, a lot of buyers come to us and they say, what should I do? Should I ask for $5,000 off the purchase price, $10,000 off of the purchase price, or should I ask for concessions and $10,000 in concessions? And when you put apples to apples and you run all the numbers, I'm not good at math, so we're not gonna do actual math here, you guys. But when you take that from your mortgage, if we ask for $10,000 off of a purchase price, it's such a small amount on your mortgage, it's not gonna make that big of a difference. Mm-hmm. But if we can get you $10,000 in concessions, so that way you don't have to come up with closing costs, you have an extra $10,000 in your pocket, so you can put that in your secret savings account. So if the roof goes bad or if the hot water heater goes out, something like that. And the price of the home may be a little bit more, but when it actually comes to your monthly payment, it's not that big of a difference. I think that that's a very big thing. We get asked that a ton.
And speaking to the consumers watching this video that like to do their research on the Colorado Springs area, you probably are using Zillow or Realtor.com or Homes.com or one of the other major platforms, right? A huge bait and switch that I see comes with a community here, which is actually popping up a lot more in the Colorado Springs area. Not necessarily this exact example, but very similar.
Oh,
and the community is called Antelope Ridge. Antelope Ridge advertises homes, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,500 square feet, super cute.
2-car garage.
Around 1,500 square feet, ranch floor plans, and they advertise them for anywhere between $170,000 and $270,000. And people that are looking at the 170, 200, 215, whatever price point are like, cha-ching, what a score. What they fail to tell you when you're looking on your platform is that these communities have a huge land lease. And over the last, I would say 5 years, probably 5 years ago, they were at $500 a month, $400.
I was gonna say, I think it was lower than 500.
It could have been, we'll just say 400, but now I think it's 800 the last time I checked. We used to do a lot of business in that community because it was, I wouldn't say it was newer, but we just had a bunch of like first-time home buyers all at one time that were looking at that community.
Yes, but the people who actually bought in that community were not first-time home buyers, because it's not
hard to qualify for that too.
It's hard to qualify for it, and it's not a good investment. And if you can qualify for that on a monthly payment with that extra land lease, then you could probably afford a way better house or a bigger house or in a different area. But I will say though, for that area, it's great for people who, if you're downsizing, if you can pay cash for the home to where all you have is that land lease, then it is a great deal, right? Because I mean, it continues to go up. I don't love that, but it makes it very affordable for someone who might be on like a fixed income.
Right.
They don't have a mortgage on top of the land lease.
Exactly. That community, that's kind of how we tell our clients about that community, but there's other ones that are popping up left and right where they show this attractive price point, and then you see this. I mean, sometimes it's an HOA and it's $1,000. Sometimes it's a land lease, but same thing, it's $1,000. So just looking online isn't necessarily the best way to find this information out. Again, Crystal and I are your go-to resource. If you have questions about buying in the Colorado Springs area, call us, text us at 719-238-1771. We're always happy to help you with those questions because they can get tricky.
Yes. Another mistake, you guys, is trying to time the market.
Another one.
And another one. I wish that I could have a crystal ball, and I wish that I could just tell you that, oh my goodness, interest rates are going to fall down and it's going to be this, or the house prices are going to go down and it's going to be this. You can't. You really, really can't. Nobody can. And the biggest thing that we hear is, I'm going to wait. And I'm going to wait. And then that goes into 10 million different things, right? I'm going to wait till the interest rates go down. I'm going to wait till there's more inventory. I'm going to wait until the prices go down. I'm going to wait until this. I'm going to wait until that. Stop waiting, right? When it's right for you, when you financially can make the choice, and or you're going to be here in a permanent situation for, said long time. I mean, there's not like a set amount of years, right? But if your situation makes sense, do it. If it does not make sense, don't do it. But the longer that you wait and the longer that you try to time the market, the longer that opportunities are going to pass you. Because I can guarantee you that the second that interest rates drop, even if they drop like, a point, they are a percentage, that's going to have so many other buyers come out, and then you're back into a bidding war. Prices right now, I mean, in our neighborhood that we have over 120 listings right now that are all within a certain price point. So as a buyer, you have all of this opportunity. If you wait and wait and wait, and more buyers come out, you're not going to have all those opportunities. Those houses are going to be sold in a heartbeat, right? So the biggest thing is because, like we've said before in our previous videos, we are not those agents that are going to tell you have to do it right now. We are going to, though, sit with you or Zoom with you or whatever that looks like, go through your situation, see if it financially makes sense, see if it makes sense in your situation. And then the market's going to be right when you are ready.
Yeah, that's the key thing, is that if now's not the right time, now's not the right time. If in a year you get a major promotion or a major life change and circumstances have totally changed, then that's the time for you. You can't time the market. If it's not the right time for you, it's not the right time for you. And if it is, then come out here, look at some homes, figure out what you like. What are your needs? I think that's another huge thing.
Yeah.
People forget to think about where are you at in life now versus where are you going to be in life in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Are you looking to purchase one home and sit in it for the rest of your life? We've seen statistically that is no longer the case.
I think there's like, every 7 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, versus if you look back however many years ago, talk to your grandparents, like they probably lived in that house forever, and they probably paid $15,000 for what today.
They also probably had like a 15-20% interest rate too, guarantee you.
So these are things to think about. But yeah, we've seen just statistically that homes are being turned over more and more frequently than they were in the past. So just think about those things. Is this a starter home? Do you want to build some equity and then buy a bigger home or a different area or whatever that looks like? Or are you going to be sitting on this one for a while? Do you need a home office? Do you need an upstairs or a downstairs or whatever it is, amenities, community centers, rec centers, pools? Like, what do you want out of this home for this period in your life? And then let's see if we can make the numbers work for that one.
Yep, 100%. All right, this last one, I'm probably super guilty of it, you guys. I will admit, I won't say that very often, but...
She's not wrong, though, because she has connections. You're about to find out why.
So overestimating kind of DIY projects, right? versus actual renovation costs.
Key there. Actual renovation.
And Sean, the good thing about Sean and I is that we're not afraid to admit when we fail, right? We are very much in the trenches within our business. So several years ago, we purchased our first flip. And that was kind of a very, very big eye-opener for me because I'm like, oh, it will only cost this much. It will only cost this much. It will only cost this much. It's not that bad.
And it will be done this fast. And this is what we'll be able to see every day.
And, one of our really good friends, Adam, sorry that I put so much pressure on you and I told you wrong. But it really made me kind of realize what goes into a project. And I think for both of us, it's like, oh, I thought that a bathroom remodel would, you get a vanity and it's like $250 and then you get a mirror, it's only $50 and then a light, right? It all adds up. Mm-hmm. And what you think, let's just say this didn't necessarily happen in our flip, but let's just say, because I'm just thinking of the projects that I have in my head that I would like to do, but we're not going to go down there, herbal. Let's say you want to take the mirror off of your bathroom. In my head, right, and a lot of other people's head, it's you just remove it and then you stick your other one in there.
Yeah, but it's as easy as that.
What happens when you remove said ugly mirror and the drywall comes off? And then when the drywall comes off, you realize that there's been a leak in your bathroom. And then that sparks this, that sparks that, and then that $20 project, right, that should have only taken a few hours now turns into hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Yep.
And it's one of those things that a lot of times when we have buyers and they're like, oh, well, I can fix that, right? We're really big on kind of giving you a reality of, okay, that's not just painting a wall black, right? We all know that Crystal likes black walls, but it's more than that. And so I think a lot of times buyers mistake, oh, well, this house needs all this work, but I can do it myself.
One of the biggest red flags, warnings, caution, whatever you want to throw on it, is going to be this. And funny you brought up Adam, because I spoke to Adam today on the phone, and Adam is a victim of this. The unfinished basement. There are, for those of you who are not in Colorado Springs, Colorado, we have these things called basements, where you go down a set of stairs. It's like your second level, if you have a second level, but sort of underground. A lot of the times, not all the time, but these will be unfinished, meaning exposed 2x4s around the entire perimeter. There's no
2x4,
sometimes none.
Foundation.
Yeah, just concrete, nothing, just concrete and exposed walls all around you, no insulation, right? That's kind of like bare bones. I cannot tell you how many clients are going to finish the basement to add more square footage, to add value to their house, to add the extra bedrooms that they need for their family, but the kids are so young right now that it'll be fine. It'll be done in 3 to 5 years. I can count 0 of them, including you, Adam, who I spoke to today, that said today, I need to finish my basement. It is extremely expensive. It is very time consuming. And even if you are the handyman of handymen, it is a lot to throw on your plate with all the other things going on in your life. So if you are thinking about purchasing a house with unfinished square footage that you are planning on finishing, I would strongly recommend going out there with a contractor, getting a contractor's quote so that you know what those prices look like. I would go out there with 2 or 3 contractors to get multiple quotes.
And Sean, that's a great thing about working with us, right? Because we have contractors on our phone right here that I could call and say, hey, we have a buyer that's interested in purchasing this home. They need to renovate the bathroom. They need to renovate the kitchen. They need to finish the basement. They'll meet us out there before, during our inspection, give us all those quotes. So that way, okay, if this is coming from a licensed contractor, and if I want to DIY it, then maybe I can slash this amount off of it. But then you kind of know what you're looking for. And just like Sean said, I think the biggest thing with DIY projects, and I can speak for this myself, is that we think that we have all of the time, and time goes by super, super fast, you guys. And
has a lot of 75% finished projects.
Not in this house. Not since we've downsized.
Crystal hires Adam to finish a lot of 75% finished projects.
Because I have learned that about myself, that I like to start a project, but then I don't have time, you guys. We have all of you guys to take care of. And so just keep that in mind when you're looking at houses and kind of thinking about DIY projects and or any renovations for the home, that it just adds up and then time goes by really fast.
Another caution, red flag, red alert, whatever you want to call it, landscaping. Extremely expensive, very time consuming, depending on the size of your yard, obviously.
Right.
But that is something that I would highly recommend, especially if you're looking at something where it does have a bigger lot, quarter acre, half acre, whatever, and you want it to be landscaped or xeriscaped. Please get multiple bids for that. That can be, again, you think that you can do it yourself. Either you do it yourself and it doesn't turn out the way that you wanted to, so then you have to hire somebody else to fix it, or you just have to get it done by a professional the first go around and it's double, triple, 5 times whatever you thought it was going to be. Even us, we're victims of it all the time. We have clients 3 months ago that did a project, and then today we're like, oh yeah, new client, same project, it should be about this much. We don't quote them on it. We talk to our contractors and all of a sudden it's $1,000 more expensive than it was 90 days ago. Like the world of construction is crazy and always evolving. A lot of the times it's going up, sometimes it comes down, but just like with everything in life, most of the time it's just going to keep going up.
Yep. So you guys, that is our video today of top mistakes that people make when buying a home here in Colorado Springs. We hope that you learned something. What was your favorite takeaway? Have you ever purchased a house and did one of our mistakes, or do you know of anybody who has done a mistake that we've mentioned? Or what are some other mistakes that maybe we didn't think of? Obviously, we have a very time crunch to where we can't list all of them, but we would love to hear your thoughts on it. As always, Crystal and Sean, your Colorado local real estate agents. So if you ever have questions about buying, selling, or moving here to Colorado Springs, we want to be your go-to people.
Subscribe to the channel and we will see you in the next video.